fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome to Motor Cop Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, the Iceman. We have a guest. We'll introduce him in a second. Let me get the housekeeping out the way. Well, let's get the Patreons done first. For our, I'm going to pull them up first. For our crew members, of course, we got to appreciate y'all. We have our trucker friend, Mr. Hoppy Hopperson, who's a crew member. We have Christopher DeMars. We have Z Palmer. We have Miss Lauren Stimpson. Roy Spalding, not Roy P. We have our favorite girl from down under, JoJo. Still waiting for them pictures with her with her arm around a kangaroo. We have Kaylee Norris, Natasha A., our girl from upstate Washington, and our OG Patreon member, Melissa H. If anybody wants a good cigar, you can send them as Christmas presents too. Go to mypatriotcigar.com, mypatriotcigar.com. Put in your promo code MotorCop15. You'll get 15% off your entire order. If you order $100 or more, you will also get free shipping. To make good Christmas presents too for that man in your life. And it's a United small businessman, a patriot. So if you want a cigar, good cigar, go over there and order some and use that promo code MotorCop15. Also, go like and subscribe, 5 stars. On Apple, I'll shout it out, and you can review the Facebook page also. And share it with your friends and your frenemies and all that other good stuff. But we're going to introduce our guest, or my guest today, which we have the host and two hosts from Louisiana Saturday Night Live Podcast, Robert and April. Robert is a veteran, and this is our Veterans Day spectacular, so I figured I'd have a veteran on. And he considers himself like Captain America. I think he walks around with a shield on. I think he even wears a Captain America underwear. So let's introduce Robert and April. Y'all there?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, I'm here. And he does wear, I can confirm, he does wear the Captain America underwear.
I'm Captain America if Captain America was 100 million times more awesome, because they gave the super soldier serum to an Army guy because it's the Army. You don't have to give that to Marines. We're already Captain America. Just saying.
And Marines just had a birthday.
Marine Corps birthday yesterday. Hoorah, Semper Fi. 247 years old, Marine Corps. That's right.
I sent Robert a little meme thing. I don't think he liked it much, but it was kind of funny.
It's not very politically correct.
Yeah, well, it was totally politically correct nowadays for the woke crowd.
The woke Corps.
So if y'all don't know, well, if y'all haven't figured it out yet, Robert was a Marine. Well, once you're a Marine, always a Marine, but he did serve overseas, and if for anybody that don't know, he cleared an embassy.
Yeah, that's right. 1st Battalion, 4th Marines. It was the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit. It was the Westpac of 1994. You can look it up if you don't believe me. It's in the history books. We are actually in the history books, the lexicon of American history.
You know, you're getting old when you're in a history book.
That's right. That's right. It was Somalia. It was the regional embassy office in Somalia. We relocated it to Kenya. Had to evacuate because things were getting kind of crazy down there. It was after the Black Hawk Down stuff.
Did y'all have to like use blocks and big 18-wheelers to like get up underneath the embassy to relocate it?
Well, we left the building. We just took the people and all the sensitive computer information. Anything they didn't burn or destroy, we took with us.
Okay, so it wasn't like when you see a house moving down the road, right, and people sitting on top of it, like putting the power lines.
Yeah, you just take the CH-50 56s and you attach a line, and you just pick it up with the helicopters on each corner, and you just carry it over to Kenya.
That's why y'all are in the history books.
Right.
That would have
only
been
person to ever pick up a building with some helicopters.
That would have been a sight.
Now we just moved the people out of there.
And if anybody don't know out there, you know, my dad fought in Vietnam. My grandpa was a World War II veteran, and also he fought in the Korean War. Also, my grandpa was retired as a master sergeant out of the Marine Corps. He was besides fighting the Japanese, he was also a drill instructor on Parris Island. And I can tell you what, he was one tough son of a bitch.
Ornery son of a bitch, I bet you.
Yes. He was actually a POW during World War II. He got captured by the Japanese. Spent a couple of years in a Japanese prison camp. And towards the end of his life, he actually told us some of the stuff that he went through, which was very not nice, put it that way.
Oh, I can imagine. The Japanese were notoriously cruel to POWs.
But he did survive and got to come home, and I'm glad he did, or I wouldn't be here. So,
yeah, that generation was they were hardcore. You know, my grandfather was in Korea, and he was in the Air Force, but even so, the man got 2 Bronze Stars, you know, with these Valor attachments on his Bronze Stars. So he never did talk about it. I just know about it because I had him a shadow box made. And so I wrote off and got all his awards from the Pentagon or out in Kansas City where they keep your records. And so that's how he never talked about it. That's the only reason why I found out that he even had those awards for valor. But he never did talk about what they were for. But you know, and he was in the Air Force. It's not like he was a grunt running around Korea. So I can just imagine what he was going through or what he did over there in Korea to get 2 Bronze Stars.
Oh, there's they telling. That's one thing. The true military people, especially way back then, they didn't talk about it. My dad would never talk about it, just stuff in Vietnam, till he died. He never talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't the understanding of what the stresses of combat do to you like there is now. Now there's all kinds of resources for veterans when they come back as far as understanding what the effects that it has on your mental faculties. Back then, it was, you know, they didn't really know what that was. I think they called it, like now, you know, we know it's PTSD.
They got it shell shock.
Yeah, shell shock. Yeah. You know, and then they just didn't understand it the way they do now. So those things have gotten better. Even the guys coming back from Vietnam didn't have, you know, my uncle was in Vietnam. He was in, I don't think it was the 82nd or the 101st. Either it was airborne, either one. But I mean, you know, those guys really had it rough because not only did they didn't have the support on the medical side, but they didn't even have the support of the people back home when they did come home. So, I mean, he's like what you alluded to. He doesn't talk about it that much at all. He's never really talked about it, you know, not to me and certainly not to his son. But, you know, in Vietnam, they saw some pretty gruesome shit.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I do remember my dad talked about it because it was during Vietnam, but I guess he got a pass for a few days or something. Well, he decided to go sightseeing on a moped. I guess that. Well,
around Vietnam?
Well, in the area wherever he got to go on, I guess, leave at or whatever. I guess it wasn't too violent at that part or whatever at the time. But he ended up, he got locked up in like a monkey cage. He got arrested. They put him in a monkey cage. He was in there they were actually getting ready. They were actually listed him as AWOL because he didn't show back up, but he was locked up in a monkey cage. He got arrested because he accidentally ran into an elephant on the moped.
Leave it to a Marine to run into an elephant on a moped while he's on leave.
And so they arrested him and put him in a monkey cage. Somebody, one of his other military buddies found him. He had to like pawn all his stereo equipment or whatever, or trade it off to get him out of the monkey to let him go. So they got locked up in a monkey cage.
A lot of those countries over there in Southeast Asia are like that. You can kill a family member, but as long as you make restitution as far as financially, like it's all good. Like, all right, I know you killed my dad, but you gave me 3 cows and an ox, so we're square.
Yeah, and I'm sure that elephant really felt that. It was like it was probably like a flea.
Yeah, I'm sure that elephant was like, what was that?
Yeah, what was that on me? A little bug. It's like,
but yeah, they got to get paid. It's crazy how they are over there with that kind of stuff.
Well, I still have my grandpa's his sea chest from when he was in the Marine Corps. Still hand painted on the top lid. It's faded, of course, with the Marine Corps emblem and his rank and everything. And I still have all his medals inside of it that he got. He had several Purple Hearts and stuff like that. And I have all his stuff. I have some old money he brought back with him from Japan. And I mean, just it's a whole lot of history in his chest.
Yeah, I've got this. They didn't issue us Foot Lockers anymore when I got in, but I do have a Foot Locker up in the attic with all my stuff in it, as far as like uniforms and just things I picked up. And I also have like a Crown Royal bag that has just money from different countries that I've been to, bills and coins and stuff. It's weird how Marines are kind of like the same as far as like the shit they bring back and keep. They even have a jar of sand from Iwo Jima, which is like one of my most prized possessions.
He's got I still got magazines he brought back from that time.
I've got some of those too. I actually still use them.
It's like it's just like I said, you open his chest up, and I hope my kids, when I'm gone, they have as much respect for it as I do. I think my son will, even though he don't speak to me, but he was real close to his grandpa, his great grandpa. So I think he would have enough respect for it that they keep it in the family.
Yeah, they will. I think that comes with maturity. Like, I know when I was a teenager or younger, I didn't give a shit about that kind of stuff. But now, as I've gotten older, if like I don't have any of my grandfather's original stuff from his service, but that shadow box that I had made for him, that I had given to him one Christmas, like that's very special to me. So I can imagine once my children get older, and especially when I'm gone, like when I pass away, that's when it'll probably have more of a value to them when they start going through it. They're like, oh, look at Dad when he was 20-something, standing in front of a Humvee with an M16, that kind of thing. And just like the different uniforms, and I'm sure they'll love it then. But right now they could give a shit less about it. They can.
'Cause I tell people all the time, it's like, well, I've had the opportunity before, in law enforcement. Since then, I got to talk to an old man it was like on his 100th birthday, and he was at a nursing home. But he was a military veteran he was old. And I could have sat down and talked to that man for days, and listened to him. A lot of people the younger generation don't want to be bothered with it. So if anybody young's listening on here and you got some older person sitting there telling you about the history that they went through, sit down and listen to it a little bit.
Yeah, my dogs are going nuts.
The dog agrees with me.
Yeah, I mean, like April has, and it's pretty cool. I wish I had it. Her grandfather, God damn these dogs! I swear to God, fucking hate them sometimes. Right when I get ready to talk, when he barks.
That's hilarious. Duke the dog Made some appearances on some of my live streams before, like with his whole entire head.
I want to bark and you get ready to talk. It's ridiculous. They've been sitting here quiet the whole time. But she has her grandfather's stuff. He was in World War II. He was a B-52 pilot. He was an officer in the Army Air Corps before it was the Air Force, And he was an instructor. He actually taught other pilots how to fly the bombers. And so they have all his original everything, like his DD-214, his promotion certificates, the pins that he wore on his cap, like the officer insignia pin. I mean, it's just so cool, that kind of stuff that they have, like, because you can't get that back, not that original issued stuff. Like, it's so cool that they have all that. And I wish I had some of that, but he just, for whatever reason, he didn't keep it or it got lost. But luckily they have all that stuff and it's cool. Like, I was looking through a lot of it because they didn't know what it was. And so I was looking through it and telling them, oh yeah, this is this and this is that. And, this is what this was. And so they didn't know what it was. So I was able to tell them what some of it was. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's neat when you can sit there and look at, actually touch history sometime. Hopefully the younger generation starts.
He was at Roswell.
He was, yeah.
Where the UFOs crashed. And so
during that time,
they always wondered if he was involved in that and knew about it, because April can talk more about it, but like he never, like he would get real hush about that kind of stuff when it came up.
April,
and he had books on it.
She might be an alien. Life. Y'all might be.
Right.
That would explain a lot.
That weird fascination comes in for me.
That's why she's one of a kind. They might have spliced some DNA together.
Yeah, because the base commander at the time was Walker Air Force Base in Roswell, but the base commander was Jesse Marcel, and he's actually from Houma, Louisiana.
Walker Air Force Base, and that's her grandfather's last name, which is weird too.
Yeah, very strange connection.
So Captain Walker was stationed at Walker Air Force Base
in Roswell in the 40s.
With the aliens crashed.
That's right.
So we always wondered, like, if he knew anything about that, and of course, just serving in the war, that's pretty damn cool.
Oh yeah, especially like World War II and all that stuff like that. War is still hell, but I think back then it was probably more hell because they didn't have near the technology as we have now.
Yeah, I mean, it was more up close and personal, I would think, than the warfare that we practice now. It's much more killing from a distance. I can take my rifle and I can reach out and kill someone at over 500 meters. That's over 5 football fields. Whereas, they're using a Garand back then. They maybe could have got 300 meters, but they were attaching bayonets, and the Japanese were storming the lines, get infiltrate. I mean, they were getting up close and personal, like hand to hand, which, that's, I can't even imagine. I mean, it's hard enough to take someone's life, but doing it with your hands. Storming the beaches at Normandy.
Yep.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
No, well, even go back further to the Civil War. You can read accounts of that where they would fight during the daylight, and then at night they would eat with the other side. Like that. That's crazy. That was real close and personal.
I just couldn't imagine getting shot with a musket ball, especially with the non-medical care they had back then.
Yeah, and you would think that. So that's what's weird about military rounds, right? You would think that they're designed to kill you, but they're not. Like the rounds that most militaries use, the rounds are not designed to kill a person. They're designed to wound or maim a person so that it takes more people to go and take care of the wounded person. So not only did I take out one person, but I really kind of took out 2 or 3 because somebody's got to carry me now. I've got to carry a litter or stretcher. Then a corpsman's got to come take care of me.
More resources.
Yeah,
more money,
so it's not about actually killing them as much as just putting that burden on their resources and their manpower. And a lot of people don't understand that as far as warfare goes.
Strategy.
Yeah, the bullets don't kill you like they do in the movies.
No, they're not shooting hollow points and stuff. They're shooting basically, ball
it's just
rounds.
A full metal jacket.
Full metal jacket's going to go all the way through you.
Yep, just make a big hole and not kill you, just slow you down, make more people have to take care of you.
Unless you get hit by a 50 cal. Then you'll have to take a couple people to pick up this part of you, this part of you.
You can use them as anti-personnel rounds, but they will not cut you in half. But that's really for vehicles and things like that nature. But yeah, you can use them for people. But it's going to hurt for sure.
That's going to be a hell of a round to get hit with. Talking about, like I said, we're on Veterans Day. I worked with a guy, still friends with him. I'm not, like I said, I don't say names. It's a guy I call Hondo. He did 2 tours in Afghanistan. He was no Robert Downey, but he was an Army guy. He ended up being they called him a top, so I guess that was a first sergeant or something like that, I believe.
So it's different in the Army. A top, I believe, in the Army is like a master sergeant or something like that. Like, because they have sergeants first class. We don't have that in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
We have a first sergeant, and gunneries and staff sergeants. But I think their staff sergeant is a sergeant first class or a gunnery sergeant equivalent to ours.
That's first sergeant.
First sergeant. There you go.
But he did 2 tours. The first time he came back, like I said, he never really talked about stuff. I know I know one very, very close friend that got killed in combat over there. And when he came back, we were back at work, and we were motors together. We just tell a funny story about it. It's funny, but you'll see how people with, the post-traumatic stress, he had been back for, I don't know, a couple months or whatever. And we were out working. We stopped at a Mexican restaurant it's not there anymore, but it's a place we always used to stop to eat. And we ate and we chilled out. We used to sit in the back room. They used to take care of us. And so we ate when we were leaving out. There was like 5 or 6 of us. And we were going to get on our motorcycle. Well, Hondo had forgotten his portable radio, his walkie-talkie for the civilian, sitting on the table. Well, Jose that was working there seen that he forgot his radio and picked up his radio and come running out of the door with it. We were on our motorcycles cranking up, and he come running out of the restaurant with the radio so he could give him his radio because we were about to leave. Well, he's running out the door with the radio above his head hollering, for us to stop. Well, of course, Hondo, not being that far, just gotten out of active combat in Afghanistan, sees a brown guy running at him with a radio above of his
electronic device. Yeah, it's used where he was at to detonate bombs.
Hondo jumped completely off of the motorcycle. The motorcycle hits the ground. He jumps back and he's clearing leather. He's pulling his gun, and he didn't pull it all the way out when he realized what was going on. It took him a second, but he almost shot Pablo, and I almost dropped my bike because I was about to piss on myself. I was laughing at him so bad, even though the whole situation's sad because he flashed back to that. But if you would have been there and saw it, it was it was a funny situation. It wouldn't have been funny if the guy would have got shot, but he didn't get shot.
Right.
But it's like, you got to think, you see some stuff on the news and stuff with these ex-military vets. You don't know what they experienced over there in even being law enforcement. You don't know what people have experienced in their life, and something like that can set you off. And next thing you know, you're just reacting to the situation, and it's not the same situation because you're back in civilized world, or supposedly civilized world.
So I went to Iraq in 2005, and it was hard coming back for me to adjust to driving, because over there when you drive, you push everything out of your way, like literally. If someone doesn't get out of your way, you hit them with your vehicle and you push them out of the way.
You still drive like that?
If traffic, no, I don't. If traffic stopped on the lane you're traveling in, not a problem. I'll just jump in the wrong lane and make everyone move out my goddamn way. That's how you did it. And then no one can get real close to your vehicle or you can shoot them. So, then everything's a danger. Like that dead animal on the side of the road, is that an IED? Those pile of rocks, is that an IED? Like that bush, is that an IED? So it's kind of, when you get back here, it's like, okay, nothing's going to blow you up when you're driving down the interstate. At least it's not supposed to, so you got to get out of that mindset. And it takes a little while. Like I still don't like to sit with my back to a door, or I want to see the doors. I want to see the entrances and the exits. I like to look at a room when I go in and plot how am I going to get out? Like where are the threats? Where could they come from? So that never goes away. And I mean, that's probably just cops in general. These fucking dogs,
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yep.
I think that's a law enforcement military thing also, because I was talking. I'm going to do another episode before long, because I did a little short one I did on, because I'm getting close to retirement and stuff. I think you are too. But it's like after you retire, how do you turn it off?
Yeah, I don't know that you can, especially. So let's see. I've been in law enforcement now for since 1997. So that's 6 years, 27 years, and then Marine Corps before that. So that whole thing is kind of just like instilled into you. It's like a part of your DNA now. So I don't know that that'll ever go away, as far as because it's weird, because like I'll be driving somewhere and I'll tell April like, oh, that'd be a good place to take seat, to hold up in, because we can see these people coming from the east and the west, and like there's nothing behind us, so we could defend it. Like who thinks like that?
Strategy.
Like plotting out, like if we have to hold up somewhere and protect it, like we're locked down in there, like we get under siege or
you
something.
Always do that, yeah.
But normal people don't think like that, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I think it's good and bad. The problem is I don't know if you have this problem. I know I have this problem where I have a hard time enjoying myself in public situations where there's a lot of people. Not even like a crowd where I'm like too crowded in, just in public settings where there's a lot of people. It's almost like, because there's so much you have to watch. I mean, even though I'm not in plain clothes, I'm on my own time, I'm not doing police stuff. I shouldn't feel like I have to watch every single person and know every single thing that's going on around me. So it's like, you're always on alert, and it's like it's kind of hard to enjoy yourself completely, like other people do in public situations like that. For me,
Yeah. So like when we went to some of the LSU games this year, well, we went to two?
Southern and the Mississippi State.
And it was
Southern was jam. I was out there.
It was a fun game, but at the same time, like I was over it pretty quick. Like it's just too many people. I don't know. I just felt like there's people on top of me. I was crowded. I wasn't comfortable. It's just too many fucking people. Like I'd rather be at home and watch it on the TV and not be crowded and not have people all over me. I'm okay, and if there's a group of people that I know, right? If it's like a group of friends, like at a party or a family member's house, I'm cool with that. But I don't know. I guess I just don't like strangers, because I'm always wanting to see their hands. Like I need. That's the thing with me. Like I need to see their hands, and I want to look at their face and look in their eyes and see what are your intentions. Are you coming in here to do bad shit, or are you just coming in here to really eat?
Yeah.
Let's figure.
We'll every now and then we
and
go.
Like I said, that's tiring, right?
Yeah.
For your psyche, for your brain. Like you can't stay at that level 100% of the time every day, 24/7. Like you will just be mentally exhausted. But, as a police officer, when you go to work, you have to stay like that for 12 hours, Yeah,
I just talked about a story that'll be out on Saturday about that, so I won't mention it. But last night I was, y'all have to go listen to this. One comes out Sunday night, but you'll find out why. But I made a traffic stop last night and on the interstate, and I had two things I had to watch for. One I shouldn't have had to, but it's in Louisiana. But so I was trying to watch a car and make sure something else didn't get me from the back. Y'all go list it. I'll tell Robert later, but it's kind of funny. But no, it's like when I'm in public, we'll go. There's a little small bar every now and then. Me, Bam, some other friends and stuff will go to. They have karaoke. No, if I'll say again, I do not karaoke. I like to watch karaoke. And
it depends. If I get enough drink in me, I like the karaoke.
But we try to get there usually early because there's a corner booth they have in there that I like to sit at because it's in a bar and nothing can get behind me. And I'll sit there, and it's bad because by the end of the night, I've made up nicknames for probably the majority of people in the bar in my eyesight, and I can tell you who they were with, if they're on a first date, if he's trying to get laid by. I mean, I've watched everybody so much. It's like
we're notorious for that when we go out somewhere. We're just like, oh, that guy, right? Oh yeah, he's fuck. He don't get laid, or that motherfucker right there, they crazy, or look that bitch right there.
I remember in Hawaii, we were so close to that table, and something went on with that guy. Guy fucked up some kind of way.
Oh yeah,
we could hear their whole
like it got to the point where they were like, I was uncomfortable,
right,
sitting next to them, and they're uncomfortable.
He wasn't getting laid.
Yeah, like he did or said something because.
Oh, it was
she
bad.
was not. It got to the point where they were not even talking or looking at each other. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Because it wasn't overt. They weren't loud, but,
right.
But we were close enough to hear like them trying to discreetly.
Like I wanted
argue.
to get up and leave.
Right.
That's how uncomfortable it was.
Right.
Bam will tell me all the time. She'll see me. I guess I get a look on my face. Something. She'll see me and she'll like stop listening to those people conversation, and there'll be like a couple. I can't help it. I can't help myself.
I can't turn my hearing down. I hear what I hear.
It's like it's like so many people. They just they pay no attention to what's going on around them, and I guess. Being a cop and stuff, we pay more attention what's going on around us,
yes.
Which is extremely distracting, especially if you're at dinner with your wife and you're trying to have a conversation and she can tell that you may be half listening to her, but you're also listening to the people behind you too at the same time.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
We're just super vigilant about our surroundings. That's the problem, and you can't turn that off.
It's like,
and I don't. You just can't. You just like notice every little fucking thing, and it drives you crazy sometimes. But what can you do?
You'll hear some of the craziest stuff. I was sitting at a table one time. I think it was at freaking McDonald's, Burger King 100 years ago, it seems like. But I'm sitting there, and they had some girls sitting behind us, and they were sitting there whispering with each other. Well, I guess they whispered louder, or I was paying too close attention. This one little girl was actually bragging how she had a train run on her at a party the night before, and it was taking everything I could not to turn around and look at her and say, "You little slut," but I did.
Hey, look, I mean, don't judge.
I wasn't judging, but I kind of wanted to know what she looked like too.
Well, that's when you act like you drop something, or you make that just like stretch and turn your head and look and see what's going on. Like, bitch, ain't nobody ran no train on you, your ugly ass.
Or you just go, you stretch and go choo choo.
High five! Congratulations!
It's like
you did it.
I just put out a meme on my other Facebook page. It says, it was right before election. It says, if all three of your children, if all your children have different baby daddies' names, please don't vote, because obviously you're not good at picking the right man, or some shit like that.
That's not politically correct anymore. Can't do that.
I am not politically correct at all.
No, really.
I mean, I got my little bracelet I had made for the podcast right here. It says Motor Cop Chronicles on the front of it. On the back of it embossed, it says "Fuck your feelings." So,
You take that off when you go to work?
I flip it over. I turn it inside out where you can't see the writing on it. Yeah, I don't need that saying that, kind of like some of the cops you see that have, they put sayings on the ARs and stuff like that. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah. I forget, there was one got in trouble with that when he killed somebody. It was like on the back plate. It was like "Smile for the Flash" or something like that.
Yeah, so it said something. It's like, God, just don't
Kill them all, let God sort them out.
Yeah, put that on your personal gun. Don't bring it to work with you.
Exactly. That's why there's policies in place, and you can't do shit like that. That's why they give you a gun, because they don't want you putting shit on it like that.
Yeah, like I don't know if somebody did or not, but I mean, I'm sure y'all have policies too. It's like, do not change the trigger pull on your duty weapon.
Oh, we have one where you can't have double holsters. Like the Old West.
You can't have two guns.
Right. Somebody came to work like that, and it happened where I used to work at, and that's why there's that policy in place now, because they were like, you can't do that. And he's like, well, show me a policy where it says I can't. And they couldn't.
Fucking wider policy.
Yeah, he was out there fucking spurs on. Ching, ching, ching. And this is way before I got there, but I mean, that's when they had old paddle guns. But yeah,
fucking swivel holsters.
Like yeah, he showed up like that, and they're like, you can't do that. He's like, fuck, I can. So now there's a policy. You can only have one gun on your gun belt.
Remember when I first started law enforcement, a guy actually used to had a swivel holster.
Really?
Oh yeah, so he carried an old 6-shooter on a swivel holster. If y'all don't know what that is, it's basically you have your gun belt, and the piece of leather comes down that's strapped to your gun belt, and the holster's on it, but it's got like a swivel on it. So when you're walking and stuff, your gun just flops around and shit like that.
Like the old radio holders we used to have. You had the leather piece with the metal round thing on it, and you had to turn it a certain way to get the radio up and off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, it's like a half moon kind of thing.
Well, I don't know
why you would want that for a holster, but
I still wear my radio like that on swivel.
I don't have to do that anymore. I don't work the road anymore, thank God. I don't miss it.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, 3 more years, buddy.
I mean, now I'm going to probably go to 55, so that's 6 more years.
No, 3 more years, I'll be 54. So I'm older than you.
I mean,
you little whippersnapper.
55, I think, is a good age to retire.
Yeah, well, I'll only be a few months out of 55 till I turn 55.
Yeah, I mean, you're not too old to still enjoy. April will still be working, but that's her problem.
Well, Bam will still be working also. So
I'm gonna be a house husband.
Somebody said
cook and clean.
Somebody said, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Whatever I want to." I said, "I can guarantee you, I'll probably do a lot more podcasting."
That's what I was thinking. I was like, "Fuck, I could do shit every day."
Yeah, I can start podcasting a lot more often, and I won't have to use a filter.
Right, and then I can say whatever the fuck I want about whoever I want. Then,
that's right.
That's what makes it even great. And then I can talk about everything and everybody.
Right.
I might be like another certain independent reporter and start covering stuff, and then
Chwala or whatever her name is.
Karen Chwala. Yeah, then the police department say you're not a real news outlet.
Even though she won the Murrow Award.
Yeah, she don't won like 3 fucking awards, but you're not a news outlet.
Right.
Yeah, I can talk about him because I don't work for him. He's a terrible fucking police chief, along with the mayor.
I don't work for him.
They've ran that police department into the ground. It's sad. People leaving left and right. The people that are still there don't want to, crime's going up because motherfuckers are scared to go out there and do their job because they don't want to get in trouble if they do have to do their job, because they know that chief and that department doesn't have their back if they do have to get out there and get in some shit. I mean, that's Who wants to work like that? You want to lose your retirement and put your family at risk because you try to do the right thing? And I think it was a couple months ago, they had that pursuit, and the guy crashed. And the first thing they say, the chief says when he gets on the news, or his PIO, or whatever you want to call it, is they're going to look into to make sure the officer didn't do anything wrong in the pursuit. What?
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, what about the fucking criminal that kicked all this bullshit off? And they never even mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean, all I had to do was stop.
Looking to hang the cop out on something for doing his fucking job. So what that tells me, if I work there, if I light somebody up and they take off, I just reach over and turn my shit off, and I don't chase nobody.
Yeah,
that's what I would do if I worked there.
Well, I made the comment on a I don't remember which episode it was back. I've done so many. Recently, I said, the problem is with like a big department like that. I said, is the police have basically turned into no negative stereotype here, but like firemen. Firemen sit at their station, they wait to get a call, and they respond to that call. Basically, the cops are sitting around under a tree or wherever they're sitting. They're waiting for the radio to come out and to give them a complaint to go take care of, to write a report or handle that complaint, and that's it. Because if you go out and they're being reactionary instead of proactive. Because when you're proactive, you're going to piss people off and you're going to get in the shit. Trust me.
Well, that's also how you find criminals. That's how you find all these wanted felons.
That's how you prevent crime from happening. It's being
proactive policing. But they don't want you to. They want you to sit back, and then they wonder why we have all these murders and shootings. Well, it's because the police ain't going in there and patrolling. Because that's not. You didn't want them to do that anymore.
Nope.
So this is the result of that. So, I mean, it's not going to change until you get a new mayor or a new chief.
Yep.
It's just going to stay the same.
Yeah, well, they might, because I don't know. It depends on when the election is, because I think a lot of people are mad after this last snafu about them trying to sneak in a tax as a fee, and then lying about how it was supposed to be done.
Trying to blame it on the feds, and the feds were like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? We didn't say that.
Thank you,
we don't even know what the fuck about. Yeah. And I mean, how sneaky is that?
That was very sneaky.
Ridiculous.
Well, what about, we're not political on here, but I got to say it again. Old John Kennedy whooped ass.
Yeah, he did. There was no one else to vote for.
But did you see how many people were on the ballot?
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, there was no one else to vote for. I voted for him, but only because there was no one else to vote for. He's not my favorite. I don't know. It just seems like a gimmick to me, the way he is, the way he talks. It just doesn't seem sincere or genuine. It's like, I'm a good old boy, just like y'all. Man, he's not. He's not even that at all.
He went to Vanderbilt. He went to law school, I think in Virginia and Oxford.
Yeah, and he's from Mississippi. He was born in Mississippi.
Centerville, and he actually graduated from Zachary High.
So, I mean, yeah, he went to Zachary High, but he's not this good old country boy, yuck, like he pretends to be. He's not. It's a character he plays like any other social media character that people play. And it's just yeah.
Well, it's better than Chambers, or we're always smoking blunts and burning.
But at least he's real. You're right. That's who he really is, though. If you voted for Gary, you know that's who you're getting. Like, that's Gary. I'll give him props. I mean, he's who he is. But I just don't believe Kennedy's like that. I think he sits around when there's not a camera and he's got his sniffer and brandy, and he's like, "Oh, how are you today?" And he's, I don't believe that persona that he plays. Call a crackhead. I'm not buying it.
Well, do you have a persona since you're a social media icon?
No, I mean, what you see is what you get. I guess if I should probably have a character I could play and wear a wig and change my face and shit and
cook and stuff.
Well, I don't know that I would cook, but that way I could get away with a little bit more and say shit. But
I think you should have a character and talk while you have a ball gag in your mouth.
That would be kind of hard.
We'll call you you're the drooler.
Hear this the whole time. Wow. I don't know anybody would want to hear that. It wouldn't make for a very good podcast.
Some people, trust me, people would.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if it was OnlyFans and there was a visual aspect to it,
Well, with Roy P, I'm just got my only hands.
Only hands.
Yeah, if you ever watch my podcast, Roy P is obsessed with my hands. He takes pictures of my hands and I believe masturbates to them later at his house. So,
well, you know what he probably did? You know how you can go to the sex store and you can buy the mold of pussy?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could buy this kit and pour it in your wife's vagina. It makes like a mold of it, and then you can have sex
unsafe.
If she's not home, you have the cloned pussy. Well, he probably has done that with your hands. He took pictures and probably took it somewhere and had them fucking 3D print some hands, out of some like soft silicone, and he can mold them and put them around his shaft and use your hands to jack him off. I bet you that's
now when he listens to this, he's probably going to get all kind of like if he asks me for like a 3D impression of my hand, I'm like, no.
We don't need it. He's got the pictures because he can just take the pictures and they can scan the picture and then get the measurements from that. That's probably what he did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's this. They made the hands out of the same shit they make the sex dolls out of. So there's some of your hands floating around at his house that he can, bend the finger. He can take your finger and stick it up his butt. Or 2 or 3 or the whole fist if he so desires. That's probably what he did. You better watch out.
You hear that, Roy P? I gotta put the P out because I have a Roy S that listens to me, and we don't want to get Roy S confused with
Roy S. Roy P. He definitely has some Iceman hand jack offers.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
you know what's funny is I used to see Roy P more when he lived in Florida than since he's moved to Louisiana.
I know, right? He moved here, and I haven't fucking seen him since.
I mean, he lives way closer, and I see him. I'm like, okay.
Like, what the hell, Roy P? Are you spending that much time with your fucking Iceman hand clones?
It's probably just wearing them out.
That's probably what when he came, he probably on the down low got some pictures of your hands. He probably had like some shit on his hands where he could get like an impression. Oh yeah, he's done got your hands. He's doing all kind of nasty shit. He's probably licks on them after he puts them in his butt. All kind of shit.
You don't listen to this. Happy Veterans Day, Roy.
Those Air Force guys, you got to watch them. I'm telling you.
Roy's a veteran also.
Has he taken pictures of your head and face?
I hope not. He might have a whole Iceman sex doll.
Head. He's turned your head into a fleshlight.
I could be having like gay sex and not even know it.
You probably are. He inserted a fleshlight in where your mouth is. Had your head 3D printed.
God.
Probably, and it has your hands like this on it. Yep. Like Home Alone. God. I guarantee you.
It's like not long that sex shop they opened in Denham over there. They had a thing on Facebook about a year ago. Blasted out pictures. Some dude went in there and like shoplifted a Betty butt or something like that. It's just like the looked like a woman doggy style, just the butt area.
Yeah.
And then he shoplifted it, that and some lube, and he blasted. He just grabbed it. No, he grabbed it and ran out the door. It's
I'm
like
taking his ass with me.
I was like, if they do catch him, I don't think they're gonna want their merchandise back.
Mm.
Did they catch him?
I don't know if they did. But if you put something on Marketplace, it's on a sex doll slightly used.
Yeah, it's like the ass and the puss, and like a little piece of the the lower back. I've seen them.
Yeah, it's like
It's that whole idea. Like they sell like the different porn stars pussies. I guess they molded them, made. But I was talking to April about it. I was like, I guarantee you, if I fuck that mold of their pussy and I fuck the actual porn star, it's not going to feel the same.
It probably won't feel the same.
It looks like it from the outside, but it's not. It don't like unless you poured that shit all in there, and let it set. I mean, you can't do that. So
some of them is probably I'd probably just have to stick my head in there and wiggle my ears at the sides.
Well, I was saying, you probably had to guess to what the inside is like. You can't mold the inside.
It's just I guess it's supposed to be more of a maybe a visualization in your head.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, it don't feel like, I could probably put like my whole head, like you said, in there.
And how would anybody be able to like test that theory?
I mean, I would.
That's a good marketing.
Depending on the porn star, I'd be willing to test it for them.
Right, but
like this one's not so much. This one's all right. No.
But
I got to have the porn star too.
Yeah,
right.
To test it out.
So if you bought one, I'm wondering if you could turn around.
I'll be a beta tester. How about that?
Here to test it out.
Where's she at?
If anybody's out there right now, y'all send Betty Butts and stuff to all the veterans that are out of the country.
Oh Lord, they jacking off in a porta john somewhere. They don't need those.
How many we got? Well, we don't have anybody left in Afghanistan. Taliban's got that back or whatever.
Oh yeah, we pulled out that bitch. Motherfuckers were trying to hang on to the side of the plane when they left. Like, don't leave.
Pulled over a Indian, I believe is a Indian guy yesterday, and
what kind of Indian?
Dot head.
American?
No, the dot head Indian.
Not feather.
Not the feather Indian. But he, as I said, it seems like some of the foreign people, I guess, think if they apologize to you over and over again that will keep me from writing them a ticket.
Well, see, the thing is, the police over there will beat the shit out of them, right? So they're just trying to get their ass beat.
It's like, oh, so sorry. I'm like, no, you fine. It's like, but
Chinese. I thought you said he was Indian.
All my foreign people sound Chinese.
No,
that's the only impression I have. Yeah, only impression I have is
I was feeding very sorry. I'm like, I thought he was Indian.
Yeah, well,
Chinese.
All my if they can be Spanish. It don't matter.
I did not know I was going that fast. I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
it's more like
it's kind of like that. But all mine is like, oh, so sorry. You're speaking English. But they're the same. It's all what I can do.
Like all your foreign people sound the same.
Every foreign person.
From France. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
so sorry.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny on the cruise. There are a lot of Filipino workers on the cruise, and the ladies would always say April's name. They're like, Miss April.
They all say this.
All sounded like Miss April.
They can say Robert. They just
Mr. Robert. Miss April.
April.
I'm like, what?
I can't even say it.
But their English is much better than my Tagalog. So
for sure.
Tagalog. I can't even spell that.
That's what they speak in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So I mean, props. Their English is way better than what I could speak in their language.
I thought they spoke Filipinian.
No, it's called Tagalog. Get a little cultured.
That's the one with Spanish influence?
Yes. So the Philippines were a Spanish territory. And so a lot of because the Filipino women are very pretty, because Spain went over there and fucked everybody, basically. So they don't really look Oriental like other Oriental races. It's really, I don't know how to explain it. Just the skin tone, the hair is different, because of the Spanish that went over there and fucked everybody. Yeah, I mean let's keep it real. That's what happened. Spain was throwing dick back in the day.
Well, they're all coming over here now. Well, not to Spain.
Yeah, they definitely. I remember when we went to the Philippines. They're like, look, do not go out there and get married to one of these women because the shit is legal. back in America, so you will be married. I'm like, who does that? Who got off of the boat
They got drunk
for a week and decided, I'm going to marry this bitch?
They tricked them.
But it must have happened.
Mama's son.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you go to the bar and you pick out your girl, then you keep her for the week. But I mean, you ain't got to marry her. You paid for her for the week.
Yeah. I had a buddy recently, last 6 months, this past year. He's around closer to my age. He's in his late 40s. But, of course, he's single. I guess he's starting to get lonely. Well, he talked about the mail order bride thing. Well, he wanted a Russian one. I told him no, to get you an Asian one. And
the Russians are hit or miss. They're not. I mean, sometimes either they're really pretty or they're not so much.
Well, I told him to get an Asian one, but he ended up not doing any. But he found out how much it cost, and he found out the return policy was shit. So he didn't do it because I think it's like he was right around $40,000.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go there for one thing.
Yeah, you have to go there.
The paperwork you've got to file for the visas is not cheap. I mean, it's not a cheap thing.
No, and the return policy, it's like no return policy. I mean, only thing is if you marry an Asian woman, don't you have to bring like her whole family with you?
You don't have to, but you do. Most of those countries, you have to pay for the privilege to marry the girl.
It's like 4 or 5 goats.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be pretty expensive. I mean, just find you one that's already here.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that stuff.
California. Go to California. There's all kind of different countries running around.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is go wait at the border. Somebody will eventually come across.
Just go anywhere there's a big military base. You'll find a bunch of women from other countries there around the area. Whether you want European, Eastern European, Asian, they're there. You can find them.
I knew a guy that was in the Navy who ended up marrying some, I think, Venezuelan chick or something a long, long time ago. Well, I'm just going to say right now, that bitch was crazy.
Well, so, okay, everybody's going to say I'm racist, but I'm just pointing out shit I noticed along the way. Latin women are really hot when they're young, but they don't usually hold up very well.
Well, she was extremely hot. Exception.
Oh, they are, but
I don't know what she looks like now. We're not friends anymore, but I will tell you one thing. When you bring them over from another country and they're not paying attention or whatever, and you can really see how hot they are, because if you could be out fishing with your friend and his wife and you turn around and she done took all her clothes off and she's laying out buck ass naked in the boat, and you're like, yeah, I mean, she might have to.
What kind of fishing trip is this?
Yeah, and then or you're at the apartment complex and they call because she's out there in nothing but a thong, because they have topless beaches and everything where they come from. It's like, no, you have to put a shirt on over here.
Oh yeah, a lot of the European countries are like that. The women, sex is totally different. I remember I went to Sweden on like regular over-the-air broadcast TV. They were selling dildos, like on a dildo shopping channel.
During the day?
During the day. Middle of the day. I'm flipping through the channels like, the fuck? Like, this ain't cable. This ain't HBO. This is like rabbit ears. Your 3-year-old could be flipping through trying to find Paw Patrol and come across
the Dickorama channel.
Yeah. I mean, they're selling everything. I was like, whoa. Like, all right, Sweden, go ahead.
Mom, I need that new fleshlight they showed on TV for Christmas.
Yeah, the European countries are very progressive when it comes to sex. We over here
except
with
for
Jesus,
shaving,
so we get kind of embarrassed because Jesus don't want you to have sex or talk about it. God damn it, Jesus.
Poor thing. Anyway, we've been going for a while. We just that's what happens when I get these two on. Even though April's been kind of quiet, we're just going about. We started about veterans thank y'all again.
And we ended up talking about
we ended up with dildos,
pussy toys. Yeah.
fleshlights, and dildos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to hit record, so you're gonna have to send me that recording. Put it like a Dropbox or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Glad I
couldn't hit record on my end. You got a Dropbox?
I don't think so,
account?
but I'll figure out how to send it somehow.
All right.
I'm not. You the technology person.
Yeah, I mean, I have Dropbox. It's just a place where you upload really big files, and then because normally a file that big, you probably won't be able to email it to me. I don't think.
No, probably not. I'll have to zip it or
It'll
something.
be a couple of gigs. Yeah, you might can, but
We'll figure it out.
try. I don't know how you got it to me last time. I know we did this before, but I don't remember how. You
Yeah,
actually sent it.
Bam sent it over last time. I don't know how.
Yeah,
she
probably
did
just get her to do it.
We got to
Let
go.
let the brains do it.
Yeah, we got well, I don't know if y'all know. Now we have a Russian tortoise over here. He got totally distracted.
My daughter was asking me something. I'm sorry. Repeat.
I said now Bam has herself a Russian tortoise named Stu, and a hedgehog.
Russian what?
Tortoise.
Tortoise. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like the cicadas. They don't get real big. And she also has a hedgehog she named Petunia, who is a
Okay.
death machine.
Okay. At first, I thought you said a Russian toy, and I was like, "Wait,
No.
what is a Russian toy?
No.
Like, did she get her a mail order guy? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Tortoise.
All right.
It's a turtle.
Tortoise.
It's because
okay.
tortoises I found out
you
are
can
not
call it whatever
turtles.
you want. If that's what I mean, it's kind of like a turtle. It goes in and it pokes its head out. That what y'all call it? The tortoise?
No, but I found out turtles and tortoises, because tortoises don't swim. Turtles swim.
But they are amphibious, though, correct?
It will get in water to take a bath, but if you like dropped it in water like over its head, it's gonna drown.
Oh, no.
It can't swim at all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It don't.
And you said y'all have a porcupine.
Yeah, hedgehog. Yeah, it's like to me they like a hedgehog is to me like the chihuahua of porcupines.
Is it sticky? Like
It has spikes all over its body except on its belly. The only thing different is they don't shoot the spikes like a porcupine does, but they will make you bleed.
so y'all have to wear gloves when you pick it up?
I don't touch the damn thing. It's mean. It
Really?
It snorts at you and stuff. She holds it all the time. Freebird, she laughs because she says, "I'm scared. I just don't feel like it's spiked." Freebird will tell you this thing is dangerous.
Wow.
Where does it live?
It's got its own little habitat here, along with the tortoise table I built, and but
You got a fucking menagerie over there.
it's like walking into a pet zoo that you don't want to bet.
Between the 10 horses y'all got that y'all call dogs.
Duke the dog was over here, and he wanted to look at Petunia. Well, Petunia balled up and went and spiked him in his nose, and now he hasn't forgotten it. Now he wants to
Come out like a porcupine?
No, they don't come out. I mean, the quill can come. They don't shoot out, but it just pokes the hell out of him. But it poked him. Now he wants to kill Petunia, but he don't realize it balls up in this little spiked ball from hell. That I mean, it Bam stepped on one of the quills that fell out, and it's like she was pulling out her foot and she's bleeding. I mean, I'm like, see, it's dangerous.
So it's not nice at all? Like you can't love on it? Or
Oh, she does. It's the only time it's nice is when you're giving it worms, these little mealworms.
Yeah.
And she feeds it so many mealworms, I'm pretty sure it has diabetes.
Why don't y'all get something? Why didn't she get something cute like an otter?
Because she thinks it's cute.
But it's not.
Don't tell her that. She
Y'all
thinks
should have got a monkey.
you can't have a
little-
monkey in Louisiana.
Who said? This
The
is
wildlife
America.
and fisheries.
I don't give a fuck what they say. This is America. If I want a monkey, I'm gonna get a monkey.
I
Goddamn
told
it!
her, I said, all I want is my camel, Humpy McHumperson, and I haven't
You get a
gotten
camel?
that yet. I want a camel.
Can you get a camel? Are they legal?
Yeah. You can buy a baby. You can buy a baby one hump camel for about $1,200.
Yeah, but they spit.
If you pet on them and stuff.
They're fucking camels are mean. You talk about mean.
Well,
Camels are like assholes.
Well, 2 hump camels are about $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hot enough here for a camel. Think they would like it here?
Well, we had the camel at that truck stop. They got some people not couple miles from here. They have a camel.
That camel will bite your nuts.
No, that camel got his nuts bitten. That Yankee woman bit his nuts
to get away.
Well, they were in there fucking with it. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she went in there to get her little dog that she let in there, and the camel got scared and sat down. It just happened to be on her head.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Do you know they charged her for cruelty to animals for biting his balls?
I mean, ugh.
How would you like this?
Camel balls.
How do you plead to camel ball biting?
That's gross. Like who?
Well, she bit him because she had to get him off. He was smushing her head.
You could have squeezed them or something. You ain't got to take them in your mouth.
Could you have seen if she had moved wrong and the camel stood up and her head was like stuck in the camel's ass?
Yes, I remember that.
I got a picture of me with that camel.
Nasty. That's nasty.
Got a picture of me with that poor camel. He's gone now. They gave him away. So, but no, I don't have my camel yet. I wanted a monkey at one time, just like one of them little spider monkeys. I didn't want like chimpanzee or nothing like that.
What is it?
Capuchin,
like the little bitty.
Oh, the little pocket monkey.
Yeah, a little 7-pound little monkey.
Yeah,
like a baby. It's like having a baby forever.
Well, I don't know if you remember, many years ago they had that woman, I think up in Greenville Springs area, had a chimpanzee or something like that.
Yeah, those can kill you.
And,
I don't want to.
Well, what happened was she had raised it from a kid. Well, she was sick, and her friend or something came over to help take care of her, and the chimpanzee got extremely jealous, attacked the woman that came over, and like ate her face off.
Yeah, I remember that. That's why you don't get one of those.
Well, is that the one that was on she was giving them benzos and wine and let it sleep in her bed?
I'm not sure, but anyway, that's why we got the law in Louisiana where they won't let you have monkeys.
Yeah, but it's not. These monkeys are like little, like they couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't hurt you. They're like little babies.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to thank Robert and April for being here.
Boop, boop.
And he is, like I said, thank a veteran. Happy Veterans Day. And y'all remember what the day is actually for. It's not for your barbecues and stuff like that. Go have your barbecue and have fun, but also take a minute out at least and or go thank a veteran or something like that. When you see that old man walking around with his hat on that says Vietnam veteran or something, go thank him because they sacrificed a whole lot for the freedoms that we have today or have left today anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody stay safe. I'm going to put this one out in a little bit. Stay safe and remember to smile because I could always be behind you.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you want to play tough and want to hate